What's up? And welcome.
Why are you yelling?
To I'm not yelling. I'm not. This is why it's called
Group
Mostly
text.
Focused.
Garrett's yelling.
What's up and welcome to Mostly Focused. Your one stop.
See, let's try it again.
No, I'm leaving it. That's exactly how I want to keep it. Welcome to Mostly Focused. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan McCorder, joined by my beautiful co-host to my left, Tanner Wilson.
Swing
Hello.
juice.
The puppy daddy himself. Do you remember that?
Not really.
I do remember that.
What did he do every time I called him the puppy daddy last go around?
I think he had a bark
Did
on
a
a
dog?
dog.
You did a
Yeah,
little bark.
well, I've grown up.
I'm glad
And
one of us has.
to my right, one of my other co-hosts, the big mayo himself,
The big
Jerry the
mayo.
Fairy.
Jerry.
Yeah, that's a new nickname.
No, I used to call you Gary, Fairy, Dairy, Jerry. That's a good
Dairy
one.
Jerry.
That's better than Fairy.
I am a little lactose intolerant.
Are you
so,
really? Do
yeah.
you take lactate?
I do not. I just wing it.
Callan
No,
does like
you
it.
just have diarrhea all
Yeah.
the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you?
No.
Oh, okay. JP's stressed right now. He's like, what is he about to say? What's about to happen?
Listen. It's so hot in this house.
It is a little warm, actually. Tanner asked while y'all were in the group message. It's 69 in here. Degrees in here right now on the heat.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, and joined by my other co-host, the solderizer himself, JP Pace.
True story.
So we were supposed to start at 8. It's 8:45 because JP didn't come prepared.
I did
JP brought a faulty mic.
but he's a problem solver.
He went outside, brought his solderer in, and solderized the heck out of that
It was-
microphone.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Everybody's sweating bullets right now
Yeah.
every time I try to pronounce solderize.
Every good man has a solderizing kit in his truck. So
Or car.
or car.
I think it's just called
Honda CRV.
It's
Yeah, no,
it's just soldering. It's just soldering.
So solderize isn't a word.
Oh, it's not.
Anyway, all right. Hey, listen. It's Mostly Focused. This is, would you call it a hard or soft reboot?
I think it's just season 3.
Yeah. just
Season 3.
Yeah.
Okay, season 3 of Mostly Focused. If you go back and listen to our stuff, this is a huge upgrade in terms of what it will sound like.
Mhm.
I would have had some mic stands for us tonight, but JP said you can't get them from Walmart. So
And it seems like JP.
Shout out Walmart.
I'm the problem. So let me just take my ball and go home.
Yeah. Take my ball and go home.
look at Luna.
She's being nice.
She's really taking everything in. Nice. It's your energy. It's the
Yeah,
puppy
you
daddy
know,
energy.
puppy
you got
daddy.
going on.
Puppy daddy energy.
There's no
so this is
barking.
the first time we've been together. We haven't recorded a Mostly Focused episode in 2 years.
It's been
And
a
it
long
was
time.
us 3 last time.
Mhm.
Tanner hasn't been on in 3 years. So when we had our Virgin Voyage, is that what you call it when it takes off, right? The Titanic's a Virgin Voyage.
I
Yeah,
think
like
that's
the
right.
first-
Maiden voyage.
Yeah, that's it. But because of Christ, the Virgin
Okay.
Voyage, because he was born of a virgin.
He was,
So,
yeah.
That's true.
See?
Yeah.
Circling it into faith. Okay. So
Good.
This is a faith-based podcast for everybody who needs to know. Also, I'm breaking the fourth wall. We are recording. JP just died inside because he said this is a podcast that is being filmed, not a film of a podcast.
Right.
Sure. That's
exactly what he said.
Exactly his words. But anyway, before we really dive into things, I want to comment on Tanner's shirt. I know you can't see it probably, but this says Swing Juice.
Yeah.
And you can't wear these kind of shirts around me because
It's a golf hoodie.
it makes me think of two Swing Juice. You know what that's from?
One of y'all's raps.
From Nellyville.
Oh, why did you bring it up?
No.
So
no,
here's no. Here's
we're
the
not
important.
going
No,
there.
I know we're not. We're not. So the
I will
actual
walk out
the
of here.
surprise, the surprise of the show, and the reason JP needed a second to pause is instead of our Mostly Focused intro, it's Loch Ness of me. Oh man, one of these days.
Moving on.
One of these days.
Yeah, one of these days when y'all are famous for this podcast,
We'll release
we have to
Waterloo's
release that album.
I still hold the fact that Garrett should re-record Tanner Sparks. Re-release it. All right, so we're gonna jump in. I want to highlight our cups real quick. So Tanner, you got to hold yours up first. I broke out the fine china. None of these cups have been drank out of. So what's that say?
China.
They're maiden
That says
voyage.
"I love you" and it's got Leia on it, and mine says "I know" and it's got Han on it. You think the camera can see that?
Sure. Just act like it does.
I don't really know what it means, but
I know. Yeah, and that's why I gave it to you.
You don't know what
Because
that means?
No,
No.
Tanner's a Star Wars hater.
Like at this point, I made it this long. It's kind of not watching out of
It's kind of
principle.
like your
respect
identity
that.
now.
I respect that.
And then I gave Garrett the Mustafar
Mustafar,
cup. And
home of the downfall.
JP's just drinking his own thing.
I brought my own
he
coffee.
roasted his own beans before he came over here, which is dumb.
I
Hey,
did not
you
roast my
watch
own
your
beans.
He
You
didn't
brought a
roast
K
them.
cup.
Yeah, because I didn't have my bean because I can't have caffeine at this time.
Phrasing. Anyway, hey, you think we're going to say shout out a bunch? When I was going back to listen to our old mostly focused episodes, Garrett said shout out no less than 5 times an episode.
Yeah, I think I
Shout
just had
out.
to do that. Yeah.
All right, so we're back.
We're more polished now, obviously.
Yeah, way
Yeah.
more polished.
Once an episode.
We are going to do the way we're going to do this is we're going to release 2 episodes a month. We're going to record them once a month, and then because we
Yeah.
all have kids now, that's an update. We'll talk
Mhm.
about all this in a minute. So this first episode is going to be kind of all of us kind of talking about where we've been over the last few years. Because I don't know about you guys, my testimony is different now than it was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All of you are a little more boring. I've gone through a lot in
Thank
the last few years. But you got some significant life news. You have some significant life news, and you have some significant life news at the very least. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about we're going to talk a little bit about our faith, kind of where we've been these last few years, our journey, kind of where we're going, kind of what you're hoping to get out of this podcast going forward. Just some stuff like that. And then we'll, that'll be kind of the gist.
That sounds
of
great.
this.
The
Hey,
welcome back.
Mhm.
yeah. So if you didn't know, me and JP have another podcast called Mostly Film.
Plug.
And
Shout out.
Shout out. There it was. If all of a sudden you hear a baby crying, it's because Garrett laughed so loud he woke our daughter up.
Sorry,
Because
apparently I talk very loud.
it's the youth pastor in you.
It is.
Not to bury the lead, but that's some of your life news.
Yeah, I have to talk loud so they listen.
So, spoiler alert! Shout out! Spoilers!
Yeah, shout out. Spoiler.
But anyway, yeah. So,
Just had a massive realization
what?
that I'm not happy with.
What?
It's fine. We'll talk about it later.
No, I need to know right now.
The fact that Garrett's a youth pastor and I too happen to work at that
Same
said church. He's a youth pastor.
Listen, I had a dream
Yeah.
about
say it.
our pastor
Okay.
last night, and we were at a petting zoo. But it was an exotic
Nice.
petting zoo. There were unicorns and kangaroos. Well, unicorn and kangaroo are 2 totally different subclasses of animals. I didn't tell you this. And we were just walking around petting the animals. Nothing weird. Well, I guess that is weird. Our pastor, me and our pastor. Yes. We're walking around a petting zoo, petting like unicorns and kangaroos and
Yeah.
koalas. But koalas, they walked on both legs and they were a little tall, kind of like Brian from Family Guy.
You sure it just wasn't Brian?
It was a
From
koala. No, it was a koala for sure.
Okay.
It's
So-
koala.
Anyway, so we're gonna jump into this. If you
This is not sponsored by Starburst.
Starburst.
Shout out.
Shout out Starburst jelly beans.
I want to just get under JP's skin one time, eating my Starburst into the mic. Anyway, what I was gonna say, mostly film. I have one question to ask you guys from our last episode. If I said robot Rossum, if I said, hey, what do you think of that robot Rossum? How does that make you feel? Does it have like a
Interesting.
negative connotation, kind of like dirty? Like you feel dirty saying robot Rossum?
Yeah,
I mean,
Rozzum.
sure. Yes.
Just because I know you, yes.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
all,
I thought
the
so too.
context of knowing Jonathan is why anytime you ask me, how does this make you
If I start
feel?
talking like this, are you offended if I talk like this?
Would I be offended?
Yeah, but that's right. All right, let's jump into it.
All right.
So, Mostly Focused got its name because, yes, we're here to talk about faith-based things. And I'll kind of, at the end of this episode, I'll kind of forecast the future episodes we have coming up.
Mhm.
But every episode, you need to come in with your heart prepared for non-faith-based things as well.
Physically, I'm already so behind.
Well, and here's the thing with JP, too. This, and I say this because you'll appreciate this the most.
Yeah.
Compared to our last Mostly Focused, the fact that we have Bibles and everybody has notes out.
It's the whole reason I was ever part of it before.
No, this is amazing.
I know it is.
We're
Say the
prepared.
past.
This is amazing.
Yes,
I'm
it
proud
is.
of you all.
I'm very proud of
It's
all of us.
remarkable.
Shout out growth.
Shout out
Shout out
remarkable.
Oh,
Growth.
That's what he uses.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. So, I'm just going to throw it to Tanner. You get to start with you because you're the most introverted of the bunch. So I
Yep.
want to know who you are.
Okay.
I want to know where you've been.
Okay.
And one more off-topic thing, and I promise we'll start. If I said, "What you doing?" What do you say next?
Eating chocolate.
Where'd you get it?
my dog dropped it.
Where'd he drop it?
Ooh, I
How
don't know.
did this happen?
Where did you drop it?
No.
In the sewer. What's it taste like?
Manure.
Cow manure.
Dog manure.
Oh,
Okay.
cow manure.
I don't know, man.
Because I think I was talking to Abby and I started trying to get her to finish it. She'd never heard that before. So, okay. I thought maybe it's just a Christian fellowship thing, but apparently not.
All right.
You can give a full testimony too if you want. I mean, just a summarized version of it, because we have a whole new demographic kind of now.
Yeah.
So-
So I'm Tanner. Jonathan and I, we pretty much grew up together, and so he drags me into stuff like this
Mhm.
and makes me come out of my comfort shell.
Amen.
Comfort zone.
Well, this is doubly a comfort because you're on camera now.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
But with that beautiful face, I mean, golly.
I don't know. I mean, my testimony's somewhere on this podcast feed, so you can go back and find it if you want to. Then
Just
we do
But
that.
no
synopsis,
change. No change.
No,
like,
no change.
I mean,
Just
it's
give me like a
just
nutshell
growing.
synopsis
Okay,
where you were,
So-
what God saved you from.
Okay.
That's
oh wow, that's the most John Aiken thing you said.
1, 2, skip a few. Listen, I wasn't going to name drop anybody.
I mean, okay. So, growing up, good kid, went to church, went to Christian school, just was very morally good. Got to high school, basketball became an idol, and everything that comes with it, locker room, just all that stuff. Trying to be,
You say locker room life.
I mean, like trying to
That
be
has
the
a
man,
different connotation
trying
nowadays.
to impress everybody in the locker room with anything, any kind of story. So pursuing things that were not good. Anyway, so did that. Went through a few different paths, trying to find some fulfillment in life, and then Jesus kind of just came in and rocked my world. My dad gave me an ultimatum that he was going to kick me out of the house if I kept smoking a lot of weed all the time, and so
Was that your biggest vice, pot
yeah, I went through
and wheezy?
and we
That's what I was about to ask.
yeah. No, I mean, it was just kind of, it was 6 months of, like I said, just trying to find that fulfillment. So it was 6 months of smoking weed. And then before that was 6 months of drinking. And I was like, I don't like waking up hungover all the time. So this sucks. So that's when I moved on to weed and whatever. And was going to move on to the next thing. And Dad sat me down with the ultimatum.
Is that like Garrett drugs? The next thing, bringing Garrett drugs back into the
I mean,
equation.
Hey,
not
it could've
necessarily
been.
that hard.
Could've- Oh, okay.
Never
but
want to be that.
Not
hard.
Never,
that,
Tanner.
Not that hard. I'm not that. Anyway.
Not that crazy.
I'm not as hard as Garrett.
Okay. Wow.
Edit that out. Edit that
No,
out.
that's
Can we
things.
bookmark this down here?
Yes,
Yeah.
please do that.
I definitely won't. It's fine. This is off to a great start.
This
Absolutely
is why
amazing.
You tune in. This is why people tune in. All right. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
So then,
Hang on. Why does it say off problem?
That is not off problem.
Oh, I was like, I didn't know you snorted off. This is the
No.
first thing I went to. All right,
No.
sorry.
but yeah, so then Jesus just really came in, and it was actually just kind of a period of time. It wasn't really a specific moment, but just kind of God revealed himself to me that, like, hey, I've been here the whole time. You've been looking for me. You've tried all these different things, and you're still not satisfied. So just kind of came home to that first thing, like I said, grew up in church, grew up in Christian school. So I had that foundation, and just kind of came home, So that's the testimony part. Now,
And then you and I linked up when we were always kind of friends on and off.
yeah, we
but
kind of went through that transition
Like
kinda
the
at
same couple days.
exact same time. So it was really cool. And then so like for, I don't know what, 6 months, something like that, we pretty much just locked ourselves in the church so that we wouldn't go out and do things that we used to. And
so much so we drove all the way to Key West in one sitting and camped in a tent for 8 days, just the two
Yeah.
of us.
it was pretty epic.
For what?
Vacation.
Just
Oh,
the two of
that's
us.
so sweet.
It was, and we were next to some swingers for fact.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, old swingers too.
Yeah.
Definitely. And his mattress deflated the first
Deflated.
night there.
Yep. So
Ooh.
my dirty clothes
That
became a
sucks.
mattress.
He could have
Nice.
spooned with me, but he knew that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely a bad
so,
idea.
Anyway, so more recently, what's your life updates? Because
More recently.
2 years ago or 3 years ago,
Yeah.
you only had one kid.
We got a second child now. It's Callan. He is a year and a half. Emmett is 7 now.
Dang, bro, it's wild.
Yeah, so we're very tired. Mariah is no longer coaching anymore, so that's
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, this year was her first year off. Just to, spend some more time at home.
Permanently? Or just like for a season?
I mean, for the foreseeable future. We'll just kind of see
Okay.
how it goes. We'll reevaluate when time comes. I work swing shift, so I'm days, nights, back and forth, a couple days at a time, 3 days, 3 nights, 4, whatever. So I'm
Dang.
also always tired
Mhm.
of that.
Perpetually.
Perpetually tired. Yeah, I mean, what else you want?
Oh, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, that's about it. Just been trying to here the last couple of years. Just been trying to keep growing. I'm trying to learn Spanish.
Yeah,
I've
you
been-
told me that. What do you use, Babbel?
I wish I was using Babbel, but I paid for Spanish Pod 101 before.
Gotta make use of that.
Yeah. Gotta wait for my subscription.
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 So, question I didn't... Oh, don't do that to me. She's over here just gently...
Rubbing knees.
See, I told you I was going to keep it PG because... So I checked myself.
Good.
You're welcome.
That's an awesome
Holy
thing
Spirit.
about. Please go back and edit that part.
But leave that part in so people just wonder. Just cut that one little snippet out to where there's an awkward gap and everybody's busting out laughing.
Yeah.
Then a minute later, just make sure you edited that part out. And for the record, it was very innocent. It was in a Freudian context slip that, of course, I magnified. So anyway, listen, I didn't put this on the notes. I want to ask. So early, like when you first got saved and where you are now, who are like your most influential, like whether it be authors, pastors, musicians, like in terms of like your salvation?
Yeah. So
Because you were a Waniac.
I was
Self-proclaimed.
Yep. Oh yeah.
What's a Waniac?
Like,
Are you serious?
Lil Wayne was.
Oh, Little Wayne. Oh,
My
okay.
God.
I was thinking of like some pastor or something. Like when you got saved, you were
A Waniac.
a Waniac. I was like, who's that?
No. So I mean, Lecrae has probably shaped my walk as much as anybody.
Mhm.
Like when I first started, I mean, like
Grits.
loving
Grits.
hip hop.
Ooh.
Lecrae right after he came out with Church Clothes, and it was
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh
a banger.
snap, this is like actually hip hop made by a Christian that doesn't sound corny.
I was doing the dishes tonight and I always
Yeah.
play music, and Power came on.
Okay, with
the-
Ty and KB.
On
Yeah.
the Space album. Where he has the astronaut helmet on.
Oh, Gravity.
Gravity.
Oh,
yeah.
Power Trip.
Power Trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Banger.
But yeah, so them. I mean, KB's another dude. Listen to his podcast all the time. Still, I was
Southside Rabbi?
Southside Rabbi. That I
Shout
shouted
out.
out.
Shout out.
A bunch on there. So
Author wise, who do you read? Or do you have a couple favorites? Or
Shoot,
You just kind of a
I'm
journeyman.
Just kind of whatever pops up. I don't know. KB just wrote a book.
Yeah.
Dangerous Christian. That was good. I've got Jesus Through Middle Eastern Eyes that I'm reading right now. It's
Mhm.
great. And then Lord Falgren's letter. Just
yeah, you
read
said
that. It's kind of like
you
Screw
sent
Tape.
it to me. That's Alcorn, Randy Alcorn, right?
Yep.
Like
Randy
Screw
Alcorn.
Tape letters,
It's
yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I walk's in a good spot. Pretty good.
Cool.
Just trying to follow Jesus and love the people around.
It's great. That it? That's all you want to say?
I guess.
That's not a loaded question. Just is that all you want to say?
Yeah.
I'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay. JP, you go.
Me?
Yeah.
My name is JP Payton.
JP Patton.
Yep, that's it.
That's
I
how
hate
Puss
that.
in Boots would say it.
Yep.
I did a whole podcast episode on Mostly Film where I talk like Puss the whole time. Puss in Boots.
Wow.
It wasn't the whole time.
It was a long
I bet
time.
you loved that, didn't you?
I hated it. I hated every second of it.
I did.
All
I did
4.5
a
hours of it?
Schwarzenegger one time for a good while too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was real bad. Like that's not even
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger.
That's Borat.
Yeah.
Everything
That's
resorts.
Borat-nigger.
Everything resorts back to Borat. That's your social security number.
That's actually Leo's.
Oh,
That's even better.
some people pull up their other screen and it's like porn and stuff. At least his is Social Security cards for his
Yeah,
kids.
it's the most secure.
Nothing like that on my computer.
Okay, good.
I wasn't insinuating that it was a testament to your salvation.
Sure. Well, I was letting them know.
Yeah. So, anyways, I feel like I've been saved my whole life. It's one of those situations. Like a lot of us here, were just born and raised in church. Grew up kind of in the Pentecostal world.
I was going to ask.
Yeah. Then family shifted to more like
Pentecostal, like Pentecostal, light.
Pentecostal light that opened the door. There was a gateway to charismatic, that whole
Rod Parsley.
yeah. So just did
He's about to
that.
go to ramp this week.
Yeah, for the second, third time.
Nice.
Second.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was basically my childhood.
Yep. Same.
So
Same.
Can that'll be
Garrett's
another pod then.
We're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
went to ramp. We
Yeah.
did. We went.
Yep.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
So this podcast should just be a tightrope. That's all it's going to be. It's just us walking a tightrope.
Oh, and this is so much better than last time.
I hope so. Gosh.
I'm talking about.
I cannot believe that.
It is. It is. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I always lived the life I thought people expected me to
But not
spiritually. And there was a point where I realized that I wasn't.
No, I was. He gave me fun. I'm asking, like, was your faith yours for pleasing God?
It was
or
not
for
mine.
others?
Yeah, it was not mine. It was a good example,
Mhm.
but it wasn't probably the most genuine.
I didn't spill. I
Yeah.
felt like I did.
It wasn't the most genuine representation of a life with Christ. And I got married 5 years ago. I met my wife
6 years.
6 years ago. Thank you, sir.
Your anniversary was on my couch.
It was. So, six. we celebrated.
Color having it.
Yes. We were watching the Oscars here the other night, and
Yeah.
Abby, in the middle of the commercial, goes, "Oh, happy anniversary." I was like,
Yeah, it was our
"You're
anniversary.
celebrating your 6th anniversary on my couch?"
Yeah.
So,
So we've been married for 6 years. We dated for 5 years before that, and I probably didn't take my walk as serious as I should. Until so hot here. I understand.
It is. It's burning up in
Yeah.
here. What's her room on? That's
Okay.
fair.
There's a lot of hot air in here. It's okay.
Mouth breathers.
I mean, last Mostly Focused, I took my shirt off in the church.
You cannot do that.
Not the current church we go to, at a different church.
Yeah.
And put animal crackers.
Yeah. So after I met Caitlin, it was just, a very serious walk. And there's always been bumps and, different things that come up, but we just try to, stay vigilant and, it's kind of cheesy, but my wife is a great example. And I have a great family around me that, sets an even better example. And, I want to serve the Lord,
Struggles wise, what has been one of your, because you're a church kid like I was, born and raised, what's kind of been your biggest struggle, like faith wise, that you had to overcome or continually are overcoming?
I still deal with it, but it's probably pride, and it's like,
well, you got humbled tonight.
Listen, man.
Yeah, Luna snores with her eyes. She's not asleep.
Yeah.
She's just old and overweight, and she just breathes
Same,
like that.
Luna.
But my pride
Just
just
overweight, 4 pounds instead of 3
Overweight is
for Luna.
Anyway,
Okay,
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Just
Pride.
just pride. Yeah.
See, when I think of pride, I don't think of JP Payton.
I don't either.
Yeah.
don't either,
No,
yeah.
it's
Is it a pride like you don't like to reach out, or just like a hidden pride that you think
Or
you're
that you
better
can-
than everybody?
Or like a pride that you just think you can do it better than everybody.
D, all the above. I mean, it depends,
Got the letter I would have chosen
yeah.
for that.
Yeah. I mean, it's A, B, C, or D. I don't know what else you'd choose.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah.
you mentioned bump earlier.
Yeah.
That's the big life update.
Yeah, it is. So we found out at the end of November that Caitlin is pregnant.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So I get to join the dad club.
And get you a
It's been
Tanner hat.
Been a
That's right.
very
Says
exclusive
dad.
I
club.
want an established dad hat.
This was my father's day
tattooed.
gift from Emmett.
Oh,
Wow, Emmett's really crafty.
Yep.
He
made
did
it
that.
himself.
He made that.
No.
You serious, Clark?
Serious Clark. No.
Yeah. So she's due July 28th.
She.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we're having a baby girl.
That's exciting. We have a baby girl.
You do?
You
Yeah.
have a baby girl.
We do.
You have 2 boys.
Boys, let's go.
Maybe girls one day. I'm just kidding. I'm not speaking that over you. Just joking. So for, do you have any because we'll talk about it at the end, kind of give you some dad advice
Yeah.
for like marriage and being a new dad, only relevant to you. Do you have any concerns or like subliminal fears you're worried about right now?
As far as being a parent?
Yeah. Like I guess my question is what's your biggest fear right now?
Biggest fear is being enough.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That was never my fear.
I just assumed I wouldn't be.
Yeah. You're looking at a pit of despair right here.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm joking.
man, your
I'm
world's
joking.
supposed to be
No,
changed in the best
Yeah,
way.
like we're so It's weird, but I've been the most emotional that I've ever been, probably within the last couple of weeks.
He weeps every time before Mostly Film starts.
Yeah. I'm like, I just want to run down the streets just saying, people, have you heard this podcast?
It was like a Paul Revere moment.
I think the display just went off.
Okay.
Did it? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
This is our first time.
Yeah.
Is it still filming?
Yeah.
You're sure?
No,
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Wait.
And we're back.
Now we're back.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
back.
Nice.
So yeah, this is our first time doing camera ever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we might have some technical.
Might be some
difficulties.
trial.
But
Yeah,
here's the
trial
thing.
later.
While we're here, though, we got to give him his dad advice.
Yeah, I guess
That's
we can
later.
do that.
That's later on.
Okay.
Let's get through. Y'all got
And
stories.
here's the thing: I say we're working through it, but then at the same time, we're sure this is recording.
There's a red dot.
Yeah, there's a red dot that says rec.
I'm
I don't see
literally.
it.
over
Indian on the
JP's
screen.
face. Yeah, you can see it.
I told you. I thought you had this figured out today at like 2:00. I thought you had this figured out.
Me?
And then you said,
Oh yeah.
I thought
okay,
you were
yeah,
just
yeah,
going to
yeah,
figure it
listen to
out.
this.
I
Listen to
thought
what
you were
JP
just
sent
going
me.
to figure this out today.
JP sends me a question. Sends me this, and you guys would never send me this. Either of you.
I've done a podcast with you and me alone for over a year now. I know what to expect.
He said, "Do you want a hand trying to set up, or do you want a hand trying to get the camera shot set up?" And I said, "Did
Camera
you
shot.
actually think I was going to do that by myself? You have that much trust in me? I don't. I assumed you were going to do
Listen, that thing I was talking about earlier
At least
about
you're honest.
pride. That,
I made your
that,
day.
That on display would have like already micromanaged the crap out of this.
it." Yeah. So it's great.
I was trying to let go.
Well, you know what? We
Yeah.
all can't be Elsa.
No, we can't. I gotta let it go.
You can't.
Mhm.
All right. I'll go, and then I'll end with you.
Okay.
I wanted to get them out of the way because they have more nerves and anxiety.
Yeah,
I'm
so start with
fine.
me. Thank you.
Get it out of the way. I know.
I'm a podcasting professional now, so I'm
Listen,
good.
actually,
I
if
thought
you
I was
go
going
back,
to be nervous, but I'm fine.
the first few mostly focused episodes back in the day, you were like pale and shaking.
Really?
No, I'm not joking. You were a nervous wreck.
Well, you
It's
know,
just a little baby Christian, Garrett.
yeah, I was just a little
You were
babe.
fresh off meth.
pretty fresh off, man. A couple years under my belt.
Oh,
you know.
So maybe that's why I was shaking.
Just still withdrawals.
Gonna need that meth before the podcast.
Part Cloney. Which is funny. Can I share that? My wife's over in the corner. Hi, Abby.
Yeah.
Me and Abby gave our, we went through the discovery course at our church, and after discovery, you get to do this great thing of going up in front of the church and sharing like, hey, we're Jonathan and this is Abby and here's our brief story and here's what we got at discovery. I don't mind to be in front of people or have a microphone or whatever, right? Abby, it is literally, as she said in front of everybody, this is my worst nightmare. And right before we went up there, her heartbeat was like 163 or something. And she was like freaking out. So she popped a Cloney right before we went up there. And she nailed it. She did a great
yeah.
job.
Yeah,
Many
she
people were
did very-
impressed. They were telling the story.
And then I found out right a minute ago that they don't make Quaaludes anymore. So I so,
All right.
you know what?
Now you know.
Well, you know.
And also, I'm asking you this. I'm not sure you'll know the answer to this, but you're the only one who might. But did they look like lemon drops?
Oh, I have no idea.
For some reason in my head, I'm thinking a Quaalude should look like a lemon drop.
I think they do. Because they showed
And Wolf
them
of Wall
in-
Street,
yeah,
maybe that's
yeah.
where I'm subliminally getting
Yeah.
this image. Are you going to Google Quaaludes?
Yeah, this is why I brought my laptop.
Hard-hitting questions.
Oh, Abby's got it. She's
Oh,
gonna.
perfect.
Oh,
Because
man.
what if I threw a few Quaaludes in here? Send you straight into relapse.
That would not be good,
I
would it?
I think that defeats the purpose of this podcast.
I wouldn't do that to
To
you.
lift each other up.
All right. I shut off the box of gloves and I just smashed some Starburst. So
I hate that sound.
don't look like
Okay.
lemon drops. They look like a regular pill.
I mean, they're like Tums.
Are you on
Popping in
anti-anxiety
acid.
medicine?
No.
Are you?
Mm.
Are you?
No. Probably should be.
Didn't you used to be?
No, I'm not.
Garrett?
Did I used to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took Wellbutrin for a while, but I had the side effect of anger from it, which is a real
Yeah.
thing.
You were also working
And-
for me at Walgreens at that time. That could have
Well,
been
and
it.
That'll
that
do it.
didn't make
That'll
that made
do
me very angry, but I started taking that and I
I
was
don't know
like,
how you didn't get angry because I sent you all those bathroom snaps today
Oh,
from Walgreens. I used to just
You know what
barge
Leslie
in on
said?
him in the bathroom.
Leslie goes, "Does that make you mad he has that video?" I'm like, "No."
I have way worse videos
yeah,
than that.
I'm
Oh,
fine.
man.
Did you tell her that? She'll know now.
Yes, I don't know.
So,
But I'll just send them to her so she
so
can
whose
see.
story are we on?
Mine.
It's
Okay,
Jonathan.
All right,
let's do
so
Yeah. Get to it, Jonathan.
I'm gonna really brief synopsis my past because you, like Tanner said, you can go back and listen
Yeah.
to mostly focused from back in the day. Sex, drugs, alcohol, man. That was me.
Rock on.
Rock on, baby. This is a bad time. Actually, it was a really good time, but you shouldn't do it because you get a lot of trauma and scars from that you don't realize in the past, like later. So
Okay.
don't do it. Don't do it. Because sometimes you can't make it out of that. Then you end up doing meth, and then you get some charges put on you. Then you can't vote or buy a gun for years.
I wonder what he's talking about.
Kurt Cobain.
Shout out Garrett.
So, you used to have Kurt Cobain here.
I did.
Thankfully, you didn't meet the same Demise.
Thankfully.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so yes, I did that. Got saved in 2012. Spent 6 months basically in a
Sleeping in a tent with Tanner.
we were out in the we were out in the wilderness pitching our tents, and you heard nothing else. You know what that joke's from? The youth pastor who I was talking about Lot going to pinch his tits. And he said,
Oh,
you know, if you haven't seen that video, it's the best youth pastor fell on the planet. Anyway, yes, me and Tanner basically had the most. Is it monogamous? No, that's not right. We basically were living together. We saw each other like every day for hours on end for 6 months straight.
It's a very codependent relationship.
We needed it.
We had to have
because
I mean that growth.
I think addicts would call them sponsors.
Well, we were each other. Jesus was our sponsor. Amen.
Accountability partners.
Yeah,
Yes.
really though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas John would say, battle buddies.
Does he?
Does he say?
Yeah.
I've never heard him say that before.
No. Yes. Right? When you got ordained into ministry and he called me back up there.
Oh, he called us.
He called us battle buddies.
Yeah. And
That's
something to
cute.
do with
Oh,
your
man.
shirt.
We
It
should
was-
Wage had a Wage War shirt on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Christian metal band.
we're gonna make t-shirts, battle buddies.
We
You
should
be
mostly
careful.
focus
Make sure
battle
the ATT has an LE at the end of it, or else it's going to look like some other kind of buddies that we are not.
So your testimony.
What is wrong with
What
it?
about your testimony?
Yeah.
Anyway, so me and Tanner were in. What's the word?
So
It
much
is so
growth.
much growth. What is the word I'm looking for? Not monogamous. Anyway, I was gonna make a joke. It's gone now. We basically were together for 6 months, and that doesn't sound any better. We were each other's accountability partners.
We did.
and
We
We
just
just
were-
did life and prayer
Yeah.
together. We lived in the church, locked ourselves in the church.
And
Started a college ministry, which is how JP came into my life.
Yep.
Which is, I almost wish he never did in a way. At least through whatever ministries. Well, yeah.
we're not glad you're
Again,
here.
I'm gonna take my ball and go.
Take your ball. Let me explain what I mean by that.
Yeah.
When JP did whatever ministries with us, he was coming because Caitlin.
Yeah,
A,
yeah.
he was trying
absolutely.
to impress the girl, and he started on the worship band with us, and he sang. And that's why I wish I never met JP, because he only sang at whatever ministries, and I've never heard him sing since.
Yeah, you heard me
When
sing.
he harmonized with Caitlin one time,
That's singing. That's singing.
he harmonized. Caitlin led.
That's singing.
I want to hear you sing. You won't relent.
That's not happening.
Oh.
Full blast. He did
Yeah.
great with that.
mm-hmm.
Tanner even knows it.
Yep.
When me and John were at the petting zoo in my dream, you were in the background singing "You Won't Relent."
You won't relent. That's
Yeah.
adding that to the play next.
Okay.
The way home.
Yeah.
We are now 30 minutes into this podcast.
That's fine. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, it's just the intro.
yeah, that's actually
This is
really.
a
I thought you were
check-in.
going to say we're 50 minutes in, to be honest.
It
So,
just feels like it.
yeah. Anyway,
It does feel like him.
so that's because it took JP an hour to get everything up and going.
That's true.
See, that's true. I mean, that's objectively the truth. Anyway, so
Thanks, JP.
we did our college ministry, whatever ministries. You mean a few other guys. JP came around. We had our Let It Burn night. And it's the one thing that always sticks out.
Yeah,
to me.
my Gorilla's OCD, RIP.
Oh, my Drake stuff.
So we.
I did not bring
I'm gonna be
anything
honest.
because
I'm just gonna say it, and maybe this is wrong, but I'm gonna say you and I were
Probably.
hyper saved, like
Eh.
a little over saved.
I don't know about that.
The Let It Burn thing.
I mean, that's just, it just.
I mean,
very
didn't they do that in the
performative.
Book of Acts? Burnt all their
Burnt Gorilla's OCDs.
witchcraft books and everything.
I don't think it was too much. I mean,
All right, so we need to do it again.
It's a stand of faith.
at that point in time, it was,
Yeah.
needed
So-
to happen.
Garrett let me borrow his Gorilla's.
No,
OCDs.
he stole it.
No, you left it in my car.
He stole it. If a friend leaves something in your car, you know it's your friend's, and you don't burn it in a fire.
Okay.
To be fair, you were on drugs and
You-
you
I
might
was
have
not on drugs.
might have stole it.
You were in alcohol
That
at that point. This was
Probably.
this
but
was like
it's not
2013.
I joke.
What were you doing in
Yeah,
2013?
I-
Drugs.
Yeah, I was drinking and smoking
Reefering.
pot. Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause I came over
probably
to
some
Tanner's
snorting some pills
at one
about that point. You did. We
do
did.
remember that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like right at the cusp
Wow.
of
That was
the edge of
Our-
real addiction.
That was our Pineapple Express moment.
yeah.
That actually has no bearing of reference besides
That was
the
wild.
Stone
I forgot
movie.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we met JP through Whatever Ministries. That was actually way more successful than I had any right to be for a little bit. And then some things happened and it fell apart. Ever since then, I swear that's the reason my faith went off the rockers. I don't know why. Something about that never set right with me. And it was my fault, ultimately, I think. Or maybe I'm bearing too much of that. But I really put a lot of eggs in that basket.
Oh, the ministry.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And ever since then, until recently, my life's been a spiritual roller coaster. Before then, it wasn't. And maybe that's just because newlywed, me and Abby got married in 2014. We're married for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
Maybe figuring all that out. I put other things over it. I don't know. But my real testimony now is more not the drugs, alcohol, porn, all that kind of stuff, is more the spiritual immaturity, hypocrisy. So I always point out when I was working at Walgreens, it's fun. I can say that now. I used to dance around the word.
Yeah.
We used to pretend not to say it. I used to try my biggest things. One guy at the car dealership I used to work at asked me a question. What's the worst thing you've ever done in your life? And to me, it was using my faith to try to keep somebody else's faith suppressed. And now you maybe not ever realize that that's what I was doing to you.
Oh no, I knew it. And
yeah.
and I remember Leslie used to call you out to me and be like, you got to be careful and not like mad, but just trying to protect me in that sense. And I knew it, but I knew you were such a good friend of mine. I didn't even realize I was
doing it then.
Yeah.
But in hindsight,
What do you mean keep somebody else's faith?
so my faith, I could not get consistent.
Yeah.
Never.
Mhm.
I mean, you and I would talk about it.
Yeah.
I could never get it consistently right.
Yeah.
And my marriage was failing miserably.
Yeah.
And I was watching Garrett, and as a friend, I was thrilled for Garrett,
Yeah.
seeing his growth and all this stuff. But
Do
there
you
was
not- do you
some
not
part of me, huh?
Do you not think you were just jealous?
Wasn't jealousy. Never was jealousy for me.
Yeah.
Not in this.
Not jealous of Garrett, but Garrett.
His faith, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just
Yes.
like you wanted that for yourself kind of thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't achieve it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I could talk myself into doing, I knew what to do to get there.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. And watching Garrett do it, I was like, why can I not get this figured out? Not like the youth pastor and all that kind of stuff, but just
Mhm.
why can I not? Because we were with each other every day at work.
Yeah.
Like
Hours
why,
on end.
Yeah. Why can I not figure this out? But I could say all the things. I could quote all the scripture to get to
Mhm.
where I
Yeah.
needed to be. So every time Garrett would talk to me about faith stuff, I was subliminally and not even subliminally. I was openly putting down his faith somehow. I don't know how to explain it, but you and I both know what I'm talking about.
Well, it was more of we could talk about it, but you weren't applying it to yourself. And then there was a part of you that had that faith, but wanted to be like the world so that you could try to show the world that a Christian can do and say and be these things and have fun and everything. But in reality, your identity was shattered and broken. And you didn't know who you were.
Does he need to hold the mic
Yeah.
closer to
Hold
his
the mic
mouth?
up to your mouth.
Oh,
bud.
my bad.
Thank you.
Okay. And so,
It's like we're at church all over again.
talking about your, from Whatever Ministries, how you've seen ever since that happened and you had that ministry, that was your identity. Christ wasn't it. That ministry became your identity.
Mhm.
So then through losing that, it's simultaneously like my baseball. When I lost my baseball, I lost my identity. And then you couldn't figure it out through there because you lost the thing that you put all your eggs
Well, because
in.
then I put my basket in my career.
Yeah.
And then I got really good at all that.
Mhm.
And I was a monster. I was a narcissistic, manipulative monster, but I was good at it. You worked for me. I was good at it. I just sold my soul to it and neglected my marriage. This was pre-Violet. Into Violet, but it kind of came to a head when I had Violet. Anyway, I was using my faith to put other people down. That's one of my biggest regrets since, besides some of the stuff I did to Abby, our marriage, stuff like that, which that's a conversation for another podcast. Mostly marriage. Shout out. Anyway, so, I got fired, which was a big deal for me. I lied, stole, cheated, everything. It was awful. It was about time I got called out for it. And I had a crossroads. And I honestly, it wasn't as easy as I think people may think it was. I not really talked about it, I don't think, till this moment. I almost gave up. Not like suicide, but faith. I was like, you know what? I'm done. And this was at the time me and Abby were you and I had just gotten through. We almost got divorced right after Violet was born. We went to counseling, therapy for a year, the two of us, both. Yeah. And then, we went to therapy, did the work. To say therapy saved our marriage isn't necessarily right because we did the work to do it, but therapy was a huge
Give you
blessing.
some tools. I
Yes,
guess.
Kickstart. Yeah.
Yeah. So for all the people out there, therapy saves. Therapy's great. Don't be bigger than therapy.
I'm in therapy.
Yep. So
I'm not.
Wow, Tanner!
Wow.
Shout out, perfect dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. we
Mental
all
health
we
game
all know a
strong.
lady because we all went to the same lady.
You went to Jenny?
She would not acknowledge that though.
Yeah, he does go.
I go to
currently.
Jenny. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah,
All
she
right.
Abby still goes to Jenny,
Yeah,
and then I went to
really?
Jenny privately for. I was at Jenny Disher at Heartland, which Progressive Wellness.
Progressive wellness.
Yeah,
Shout
shout
out.
out, shout out Jenny Disher. She is amazing.
We
Really,
need a shout out count.
yeah, really blends faith and
Yeah,
science together in like a good way. Like she's really
She's a counselor that's a Christian,
yes, which is great. So anyway,
like a podcast that's being videoed.
yes, right, exactly. That's great. Anyway, so after I got let go from Walgreens, I was like, well, everything's come crashing down now. What do I do? We had Violet. This was, do I give up on faith? Because I couldn't figure it out. And I felt, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like when I got saved, that night on that train, just a peace, man. And I just felt God's hand saying, I'm still here. I still love you. You know, because I've talked to John and I've talked to all of you guys about this. Like, I just felt so disqualified from just, I think, serving God. I think the root of it was I always wanted to do ministry, but not work on myself. And God was like, I love you. Seek me. Like you, I still love you. You're not disqualified from me ever. Nothing. Right. And getting that realization for the last almost year now, I've been able to hold my very consistent walk with God for the first time since like 2014, 15, you know? So a whole different mindset now that I used to be in like the stuff you were saying, like me wanting to be a part of the world. I never realized it was like that. That wasn't my mindset, but like, I mean, I think specifically, I mean, obviously Abby, but you would notice I'm way different than I was 2 years ago.
Oh,
now, I still make I told you we'll keep it PG. I am Jonathan suggestive themes. That's probably always going to be. My dad always says that there's still some stuff in your life you need to let go of. It's probably all the suggestive themes.
Shout
out, shout out my daddy.
Yeah.
I'm still work in progress. Maybe 2 months from now, I'll just be here in a priest suit. And
we should all wear suits one day.
I thought you were in a suit tonight when you walked in the door.
Three-piece
I don't
suit,
know how you're still in it, to be honest with you.
I feel pretty good. Yeah.
I'm sweating.
Yeah, we're
Really?
I'm
cooled
glad,
off.
I'm glad we're not.
Yeah,
in
I've
the
cooled off.
Shit,
Yeah.
I feel like Stormy Daniels in
nerves have
church right
dropped.
now. It's just a
Whoa.
bad time.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
You know who Stormy Daniels is?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Okay. Well, don't Google
Don't
that.
Google
Okay,
it.
Stormy in context,
Yeah.
it's a Trump thing. So
Yeah.
you type in Stormy Daniels Trump if you try to
Yeah.
figure out
Yes.
who that is. That would be much better for you too, Garrett.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so
Unbelievable.
that's kind of where I am. We're back in church. I work at a mattress firm now, which is crazy thing about it's very Christian owned and operated. What are you signing about? Well, you expected this. Everybody expected
We're
this.
doing fine.
Anyway, yes, my marriage, talked about that. It almost fell apart. I was holding Garrett down. I put that in my notes. Yes, I was a hypocrite and I was burnt out. There we go. And now I'm not, and I am saved by grace. Amen.
Through
Through
faith.
faith.
Amen.
Through faith.
Not by works, lest any man
Amen.
should boast.
And then I'll pass it off to Garrett in a minute, but I didn't ask you. Do you read?
Yeah, I don't read often.
Like, will it not? Do you read?
I'm more of a listener.
Well, you read fiction stuff and non-Christian fiction. Do you, heathen?
Last book I've been reading, trying to read, is The Bait of Satan.
But John Bevere?
No, it's not
Yeah, because that's
Oh.
John Bevere.
not The Bait of Satan. What is it called? It's that Rabbi Foreman book that Marty always references.
And Bama?
Yeah. It's good. Talks about creation and
Sounds like a high reading level book.
no.
It does actually.
It's
'cause
very
Marty,
tasty.
you get Marty Solomon
Yeah, he's
recommends
reading that on there.
Yeah. High thing. Anyway, yeah, I'm still a Craig Groeschel guy through and through. Craig's my man.
Lots of Craig.
I'm also very big on Levi Lusko and
Like
Joby
that.
Martin. It's Joby, not Joe B. It's Joby, like one name. Joby Martin.
I meant to shout out earlier
Yes, that's it. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
The beast that crouches
The
at the
beast
door. I
that
thought you were
crouches
on
at the
Luna.
door.
Sin.
It is Luna. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Talking about authors earlier, though, I should have added Mark Batterson.
Oh, Bart Batterson's amazing.
Yeah, the man.
Batterson, I agree. He's actually, I'd put him up there with one of mine. So let's go, Craig, Martin, Batterson. Those are my guys.
Yeah.
And I still have a soft spot for Robert Morris from early.
Yeah, he's my guy.
He's a good guy. All right, Garrett, the floor is yours.
Oh, it's mine. Yeah. So life's been pretty good for me. Short testimony. I used to play baseball in high school and college. I got hurt, put all my eggs in that basket. When I lost baseball, I lost myself, lost my identity, started finding myself in drugs and alcohol. And eventually that led into pain pills and all that good stuff. And as has been mentioned before, meth. So got a couple felony charges.
You did.
For possession.
Tell them how you got one of those charges, because it's my favorite.
The one where I turned myself in.
And you had meth on you.
Yeah, I had meth in my wallet.
Garrett was like, I'm going to turn myself in. Oh, don't check my back pocket. I got a brick of meth in there.
Yeah,
What they call meth? You got a brick on it?
No, it was just a little baggie with 2 little cotton swabs.
Cotton swabs.
Yeah, because I was an IV user for the last few months.
You can take meth via IV? I thought that was just heroin.
Well, do you want me to go into detail on how?
I don't think we need to.
No.
I don't think we need
Okay.
to.
I thought,
So-
but I do want to say, I thought meth was like rock candy.
Well, it kind of looks like a white rock candy. You
You
know,
don't chew it up.
you can.
Did you
not
ever?
watch Breaking Bad?
Well, I know you can like melt it and cook it, right? Cooking meth. But it becomes the crystals.
Anyways, so
Anyways.
I turned myself in.
Mostly meth.
Yeah. Turned myself in, went to jail, went to rehab, got saved in rehab. When I got saved, I told the Lord I'd never stop speaking of his goodness.
Amen.
And amen, shout out, let it be so. All right.
To tell us
To tell us that is finished, seated in heavenly places. All right. So yeah, I got
need a purple
saved.
tape. Can you put a purple cross across the screen real quick?
He sent me one of those earlier, and I was like,
When Garrett was early in his faith, he would post on Facebook 8 or 9 times a day.
no, it was not 8 or 9 times a day.
Abby's even raising her eyebrow. It was a lot.
It was a few.
It was quite a few.
Really?
Yeah,
It was
bro.
a few.
I can't
I
stand
mean, to
my
be
old
fair,
self,
he didn't
man.
have much else to do.
Yeah. I
I
look at my Facebook memories. I'm like, dude, who is that guy?
Anyway, yeah, Garrett would post about
Anyways.
Jesus like 8 times a day, which isn't a knock, but then he put a purple cross at the end of every emoji at the end of every post, and it became like a joke for me. Another way to keep Garrett down. Just
Yeah.
make
Don't
some of
you
his
ever
purple
put a
crosses.
cross on your status.
Yeah. Fake save boy.
Yeah. But anyways, got saved. Graduated rehab, started teaching up there, got married in 2019, be married 5 years this July.
Shout out.
So crazy,
5
man.
years.
Time flies. Shout out marriage. Shout out God's covenant.
Shout out monogamy.
Yeah, shout out monogamy. Yeah,
Yeah,
hey, I
polygamy
never
would
have
be
to
the
date
other.
again.
Yeah.
You know, that's so awesome.
Me and Garrett still have a pact. If anything happens to our wives,
Oh, that's right.
we move in together.
Yeah.
And we have a monogamous. That is not the word. I'm looking
No,
for.
we don't have to use that word between us, like, because that's not
What
something
is it
that.
where you don't consummate the marriage?
What?
I
A
know.
civil union?
No.
Oh, I don't
Just
know.
a partnership,
No. I don't
Domestic
think-
partnership.
a
No, well,
friendship.
heterosexual
I
is
mean,
part of it, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
I don't know.
All right, for all you, whatever, go
All
ahead.
right. Anyway, so got married. Be married 5 years this July.
Oh, here we go.
So
How about that look great on camera?
yeah, I bet it did.
Oh.
It sounded even better.
I'm sure. Oh Lord, yeah. Anyway, so it's been good. You know, Leslie and I have been ordained as the youth pastors at our church.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out church. Leo, he's officially been
Cancer-free.
done
Well,
since.
we didn't even talk about that. We don't
Awesome.
know who's
Oh,
Leo.
yeah.
Who's
So
Leo and how's
Leo's
he
my
cancer free?
stepson. He's cancer free. He was diagnosed when he was
awesome.
6. And then it's awesome that he got.
The time that when he said it, I just got my eyes on him. He
Um,
goes, he was diagnosed. He was 6. He goes, that's awesome.
I was just reflecting on
Yeah.
the good news.
Oh, yeah.
Delayed reaction there.
So he's officially done with every single thing. No meds, no nothing. And it's so bizarre because you go from a life of survival mode, like any little thing that happens to him, then you add a toddler, and then you add just the stress of all that on top of Leslie and I. Like we lived in survival mode for 3 years, like every day is like, okay, we got to make sure this. He takes all his meds, he gets his treatment, all these kinds of things. And it's just gone. It's done.
So I've never asked you this. Did you ever waver in faith during any of that time? Or did Leslie?
No, because I'll never forget when we were sitting in the truck in Vanderbilt. And this is when Leo first went to, he had a seizure and some stuff. And so they were able to figure out that his brain was swelling because of his high blood pressure, because his kidneys or liver wasn't able to filter the leukemia. And so it was so cool how they were able to trace that. And actually Leo is one of the very few, if not the first case that leukemia has shown itself this way. So they did a research paper on him and everything, and we have it at the house. So it's really cool, but when Leslie got in my truck, I'd have to go up there because I stayed in a hotel room because Leo's my stepson. So only Leslie and his dad could be in the room. All the COVID restrictions and stuff. And so I had Lorelai, and she's only like 6 months old. And so I would go up, I was in a hotel room with her. Then I would go up to the hospital to see Leslie about 3 to 4 times a day. And then when she got in the truck, she told me, she's like, Leo has cancer, and it was a really it felt like my stomach fell out. And just on.
It's on the back. It's got to be a setting thing.
Does it stop recording every time it does that?
Well, looks like this is going to be podcast only.
Amen.
We can switch to another camera.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But
it's going to be my fault anyways.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so whenever Leslie said that, we had our tears, but it was like peace all of a sudden just flooded our truck. And Leslie's faith is incredible. She has such strong faith, and it never wavered during it. We never had this moment we were like, you know what, this will not happen the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that he's been healed of this, and because you see so many kids now in this area being diagnosed with cancer. And
yeah, that's been wild. I don't know if I've ever really paid attention before Leo, but now it's like every time I get on Facebook, some in like the tri-state area.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. And some of these kids, they're not making it. And, Hudson Pace, he passed away last May, and that was just tragic, man.
Yeah.
But, Leo's out of it. We're out of the woods. It's really cool. And so, like I said, we're not in survival mode. We're trying to get out of that survival mode mentality. And, now I'm off my probation.
Amen. You can vote and you can buy guns.
I can do all the American stuff, man.
That's right.
All things through Christ.
I can do all things through Christ.
I told him on the top he should have got my gun out of my room and just
start shooting holes to the ceiling.
Despot.
Yeah.
If Violet's not awake now, she's definitely
not. She's a champ. She sleeps.
She's a champ. But yeah, so life's been good, man.
I almost said sleeps like Lazarus,
excited.
but that would have been I don't like that.
Mm.
No, we don't like that. So, so what about you, author-wise?
Author-wise, well, I wrote down some books here actually.
Oh, even better. You're going like full.
I've read a few books here recently. One was Why Revival Tarries by Leonard Ravenhill.
It's really good.
Super good book. I've been given a book called Honor's Reward by John Bevere.
John Bevere is amazing.
It's so good. It's changed my whole mentality on how I think about things, especially in the sense of giving honor where honor's due.
Yeah.
And honoring people.
Is he killing kryptonite?
Killing kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's been a really good book. My mom gave me this book called Who's Your Daddy Now by Doug Stringer. It was written in the early 2000s, when like that phrase didn't have that weird twist that it has.
Like daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You calling me? Actually, yes, it did, because you had the Genuine song. You calling me daddy?
Yeah.
Daddy?
Yeah,
Is
but
that Genuine?
No.
Who is it?
That's Twista.
What?
Ooh, twist out.
Twista?
Heard
Is
that.
it Slow Jams?
No. Is that... wait a minute.
I want to sing it again, but my body starts to gyrate every time I
If
do
it's
it.
what you sounded like.
You calling me daddy?
Okay, it might not be. I don't know.
My eye contact
We'll
was
talk
getting
about it later.
fierce. Reminds me of Cuddy Buddy. Mike Jones. No one?
You know, I know.
Oh, yeah. I know you know. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So it's about fatherless children
Mhm.
and everything. Really good. Read At the Crossroads.
Pete Kuiper.
Super good book. I'll probably read
Who?
that.
Who
I'll
wrote
probably
it?
read
Pete
that.
Kuiper.
I thought you
He's
said Mel.
no,
I was
Pete
like,
Kuiper.
Mel Kiper.
Yeah, Mel Kiper. Yeah,
Breaking news.
Wow.
I'll
Yeah.
probably read Wild Revival Terries and At the Crossroads probably every year.
Have you ever read a Mark Batterson book?
No, I'll need.
Ooh.
I need some.
Need some.
Because I go through. I'll do
Circle
Lyman,
Maker.
and then I'll
Circle
do-
Maker. That would be a great
The-
one to
the
start
start
with. That
one.
one or All In. Those two books are my favorite Battersons. All In's the blue and white cover.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a Mark. Well, I do know you're a Mark Batterson fanatic. So,
I was trying to look at how your books are sorted here, and it's by color, not by author. What in the world?
yep. So, there's the fun thing about this video is it's got cut off.
There's no video.
Well, we got it up to a point. That's fine.
Sure.
We'll still post it.
No,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to post it. Man, that's a short battery life on that camera. Just for,
I thought it had 8 hours.
I did too. I'm shocked about that.
Mhm.
Abby, you want to try to turn it back on for us and see if it comes back on? So that you'd
It's
love to.
definitely dead. It's definitely dead.
It's because you played with the camera for so long to start the.
You can probably get a power. You can probably
Oh, look, it's still here. It turned back on.
it's flashing. It's
Well, at least
flashing
now I
red.
can say when we piece this back together, the camera's died a couple times because JP played with it for an hour beforehand, and that's why it's died. So if it cuts off randomly, that's what happened. It's okay. We
Yeah,
love
my
JP. We wouldn't be able to do any of this without JP. Actually,
No, you
none
would have
of
done it.
That's tough.
You would have done it.
with the old Yeti mic.
You would have done it.
So anyway, anybody have any closing thoughts before it died again? Abs? Well, at least I got to plug it. But for the podcast listeners only, I kind of preview the future of the show. So
we need our dad.
Yeah, dad advice.
We got dad advice.
No, it's okay. We can say that.
no, we need dad advice.
We have to have dad advice.
Yeah.
This is great.
I've
stuff.
got
Mhm.
something I'm very passionate about.
Me
That's kind of
too.
a hot take.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, Tanner, let's start
Let
with
me
your hot
have
take
it.
first.
Let me have it.
Okay. So this seems like a great idea, and I'm no shade to y'all if this applies to you. Do not get a diaper genie.
I agree. Amen. Diaper Genie
I
is
used it maybe
Are you
for like
sure?
a week.
Do
Are you
not
sure?
get a
Because
you,
I have cats.
you think
'cause
you have to have it.
you
I-
don't need it.
but-
You don't need it.
I have cats.
They stink.
They are. You will forget about it. It stinks. They will develop
Well,
bugs.
I'm
You don't want it.
I'm already used to using it though.
You don't want it.
Don't use it for your cats.
Oh well,
Well,
if
you
you use
are
it for your
going on.
cats,
I use a litter. It's called a litter genie,
I don't
but it's
know.
basically the same thing.
Diaper Genies are a waste of.
I'm very
Okay.
passionate about this.
No.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Outside trash can. I have a suggestion.
Okay.
Okay. I will consult Caitlin and see if it's on our list or not. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
If you
But
want my diaper genie, man, you can have it.
You're gonna have more kids. I'm speaking that over you right now.
I'm not.
That's why there's no camera.
Oh,
I can do
my.
that. Blessing your seed.
And
So-
then my other point that's
you have
more
another point,
serious.
sorry.
My other one that's just a little more serious is start like routines early, even though it's hard, and like just you're gonna be tired all the time. So be tired doing things the right way.
okay.
Oh wow.
I say I'm already
Be tired
tired.
doing things the right way.
I mean, instead of like you're gonna be tired anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
That's some great advice.
Yeah.
Say it again into the mic for me.
you're gonna be tired anyway. So be tired doing things the right way.
All right. I got it.
All right.
Yes, Jonathan.
Mom's on call.
What?
Yes. Mom's on call as a template. It is amazing. I was a non-believer.
It's a book? Okay. I thought it was like
Yeah, I
a, like
didn't
a,
know
like
what
a, like a
we're talking
helpline
about
or
here.
something.
Yeah. Do you want to say something? Okay. Mom's on call. It's like a military regiment from like day one on for your baby. But
Okay.
don't use it all. Make it work for you. But Violet was sleeping through the night at like, how long? 7 weeks.
Oh my.
Wow.
And she was taking naps. It tracks their like leaps, which is this book right here. If the
All right.
camera was still on, I'd be showing you Mom's on Call
Wow.
by Laura Hunter LPN and Jennifer Walker RN BSN. I don't know what any of that means. You probably do.
I have no idea.
Your wife is a doctor.
She is a PA.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's very belittling.
Wow, yeah.
Was
Good
it?
thing the
No,
camera's not
I
on.
didn't mean it like belittling.
Yeah, she's just a PA.
She's not a real
Wow.
doctor.
Wow, not a real doctor. Yeah, that's wow.
No,
bad.
my
That
wife.
wasn't mean.
Anyway, yes, mom's
Yeah,
on
never
call. I'm telling you, invest in it, look into it, and make it your own because it will make a huge difference for you. Unless you just birth Damien from the Omen, then that's a different story. Other thing is, well, I'm not going to get that nitpicky, but yes, those two. Abby's already told Caitlin all
What
this.
is
So I'm
it?
not worried about it. You're going to have intrusive thoughts.
About what exactly?
I don't want to talk about that
Okay.
on the podcast, but Garrett knows. We talked about that.
All right.
Did you have intrusive thoughts?
I don't know.
Like
No.
on those tough times? Like
That just times get hard.
times get hard, just
Yeah.
intrusive thoughts.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay,
maybe
well, you know what?
maybe it's time to go get some milk.
Well, I didn't have like abandon my family
Okay.
thoughts or
Well,
anything.
I don't know.
I need some gum from the gas station right now.
Go get a pack of cigs.
Yeah, it never comes back.
Anyway, no, but talk to people. Talk.
Yeah.
What do you? Oh yeah, because it's not
It's-
filming. I was like, well, how are we moving the halo light? And for the people who did watch the video before it died, we chose the darker view. We thought it would look better. So if it's too dark and you don't like it, let us know that because we'll turn the light on next time. Anyway, so yes, talk to people. Talk to Garrett. Talk to me. Talk to Tanner. Talk to people who have had kids
Yeah.
and know how it goes because you're going to need that support.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And Jesus, of course.
we are already feeling the support. I feel like we have a great support
So you don't
system.
need any
it's
advice
been-
from Garrett. Then
No,
you're supported
I
out.
don't at all. I don't even know why he's here. Like
Yep.
just
Me neither, man.
no.
All right.
Go ahead, bud.
It's fine. So my thing is kind of along the thing that Jonathan was talking about with intrusive thoughts and everything. Give yourself grace. You're going to get frustrated. You don't think you can be frustrated at your own spawn, but you will.
Yeah.
You will get frustrated, and you will
I can
get
only
frustrated.
imagine the frustration and disappointment that Debbie felt.
I'm telling you, man.
I can't imagine Debbie being disappointed at you at all.
She was for a long
wow.
time.
Wow.
Yeah, she loves me, but
She was very disappointed.
yeah, she was disappointed. Give yourself grace if you feel frustrated. You're also a human being that's learning how to walk through having a baby, just as the baby is learning how to walk through being a baby.
Yeah.
And if you need to let the baby cry for a minute and you step out of the room, do it
Yeah.
because they won't die.
That's been one of the biggest revelations I've had that I didn't think I would like be okay with, especially like hanging out with Jonathan, Abby, the Slag. Like y'all got kids. I mean, Lorelai seems great, but we don't spend a lot of time together.
Right. Yeah.
But when the meltdowns hit, like I would normally like get super anxious. I find myself more and more kind of just leveling out. I was like, maybe this is like prepping me.
Yeah.
But it's also different with your own kids.
Yeah,
too.
totally.
So-
Understand. Like
May
I'm
used
I,
to
like,
be terrified of you. May
yeah.
wanted nothing to do with you. She likes you now
I'm
because that
baby-
energy's
yeah.
that negative
Mhm.
energy's
Yeah.
waned off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. And make time for a date night.
For
Don't just because you have a kid, don't mean you can't leave the house. And make sure you make time. One thing that helped me is when you see toys all over the floor and a mess and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw this video and it changed my mind because I'd get anxiety over all the toys and having to clean it up and all these kinds of things. And the video was talking about how when you see the toys and you see the mess and stuff, that you're actually seeing your child's childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's not a reflection that you guys aren't clean at your house. It's
Mhm.
not a reflection that you guys are bad parents. It's a reflection that your kid has a happy childhood
That's good.
and that they're
Thanks.
playing with toys.
Yeah.
And
No, I think Jenny told me that I didn't have a good childhood basically because I don't.
Jenny points
'Cause
out
of
a
the
lot
sun.
of parent
I
parental
wasn't
trauma.
expecting it at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought I had a pretty good childhood, but
Mhm.
no, that
We
would
all
make
did.
sense.
We all
'Cause-
did, and then Jenny happened.
Yeah.
You've been hit by. You've been struck by a smooth Jenny disher. How you like that?
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Maybe this should be
last,
sponsored by Jenny Disher.
We should progressive wellness. Shout out.
Shout out.
I doubt it.
oh, I don't. There's not a
Yeah,
camera.
there's no camera
to point to.
camera.
Point straight to the mic.
Yeah. And lastly, you'll never get this time again. Your child will never be
Wow.
the age that they are at that point in time. And so,
Unless you have another one.
Yeah.
well, not that one. And so
True.
you'll have a newfound respect for the moment of life that you're in. For every day, you're like, you know what? This is their childhood. This is the moment that the Lord's given me to be with my child. So when you get frustrated and you feel dad guilt, growing inside of you, give yourself grace and be like, this moment is a moment that I cherish and love, and I'll never get this again. And those few things right there have helped me grow as a dad over the past year and a half or so.
Wow.
And
I feel like I
good.
should do a slow rise to my feet and applaud you.
well, I was this morning. I was thinking
so
about
done,
these
my good,
things.
faithful Jerry. That was great.
An amazing father.
Amen.
I like it.
Anybody else have
appreciate
any
it.
dad advice?
I do.
Yeah. Well, what
I
do you?
don't.
What have you observed?
Yeah, what did you?
Spank your kids regularly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whip them in the ways of the Lord.
yeah.
Rod
Get
of
your
justice.
switch off this tree. I'm just pointing at things.
Well, I thought you were
There's
pointing
a
at the little.
switch there.
That's definitely not a switch.
Well, you could be used as one.
Anything can be a switch.
I hope you turn into a plantation owner real quick.
Awesome.
So
No,
It's
that's
great.
that's great advice. I would love as time progresses. See, Caitlin's 20 weeks, so we're halfway there. Do some check-ins, some
Mhm.
advice. I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
all right. So now ready to preview the future.
let's do it.
So we will be more prepared for battery life next time on the video, but enjoy what you saw because I know y'all are. So our next one is going to be, I don't know what the title will be, but it's going to be about kind of world at war. It'll be shorter than this one, I'm sure. But talking about just kind of where we are currently. You got Russia and Ukraine, you got Israel and Palestine, Iran, whoever it is, Hamas, Al Qaeda, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. Talk about that, kind of talk about how we as Christians, the Western culture, how we're supposed to respond to that. Should we respond to that? How it kind of relates to the end times. Briefly, this isn't an end times episode, but that
Please,
no, it's not. It's not. No adrenochrome, nothing like that this go around. So
Mhm. Humiliation ritual.
yeah, humiliation rituals. None of that. Not Tom Hanks in the gloves. Nothing like that.
Black eyes.
Yeah,
pants.
black. I mean, nothing. No Bohemian Grove. Nothing like that. No lizard
Yeah, no.
people.
Ellen
nothing about Kate,
DeGeneres.
nothing about Kate Middleton.
Yeah.
Nothing
Oh,
about
wow,
any of
yeah.
that right
yeah,
now.
and that dog.
Yeah, nothing about Messi. No,
Yeah.
nothing. Nothing
Not
about that.
Lionel, but the dog.
Anybody else have anything else I need to keep saying nothing about? Okay.
No.
Boeing.
John, we talked about the humiliation
Yeah.
ritual. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Boeing.
The Boeing whistleblower.
Yeah, the
Yeah, nothing about
whistleblowers.
that.
Nothing about that.
Federal Reserve.
Nothing about the Federal Reserve either. Nothing.
Aliens are
Area
demons.
51.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah. Nothing about the government admitting aliens exist
Yeah.
last year.
The
Nothing
crash of
about
the
that.
U.S. dollar. Nothing about
Nothing
that.
about Biden's comment about saying the COVID vaccine cures cancer now
Yeah.
during the State of the Union address.
Yeah, and
about
nothing
that.
about the price of groceries and everything in the country.
Yes.
Oh my
He
goodness.
did.
None of that stuff.
None of that
Yeah,
stuff.
none of that stuff.
That's
Yeah.
not-
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Y'all never watched The Whitest Kid You Know, did you?
No.
Occasionally.
There's this skit where he talks about like, it would be totally wildly irresponsible if I got on TV and I said this, but I am not saying that. And it'd be even worse if I said this. And then he goes on to
Yeah.
say it. It's funny. Anyway, we're going to talk
That's
about culture crises, kind of talking about our crises. Crises. Is that correct?
Sure.
Kind of talking about how we're maneuvering in the dark culture.
Asking the people who are getting that word wrong at the beginning.
What's that?
Sodorizers. So crises is pretty
Crises.
tame.
Listen, I've
Yes.
heard people really butcher tetelestai before.
I'm sure.
Testicular sty, I heard one time.
What?
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm serious.
All right, come on.
Anyway, I'm serious. Talking about the biggest issues we see in today. Denomination Nation, kind of talk about how we feel about churches and the denomination breakouts, talking about faith, cancel culture, women in church. That's broad. Just say
Get them out.
women can't attend church. Talk about hell. Talk about politics in the church and kind of just sins in general. Kind of like a reboot, and mostly focused. These are all a little bit different than the early topics we talked about. A little more focused. And this was, y'all believe it or not, I listened to the old ones. This is way more focused than the last go rounds because the last ones were like 2 hours long. So how did we fare, JP?
An hour 10.
That is perfect.
That's pretty good.
We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. And you really, we did it. So any closing thoughts before we go into closing prayers?
Hold hands. Close.
I wish we were
Listen,
still
Garrett
video.
used to pray before every mostly
We
focused
did,
episode.
yeah.
Wow.
I prayed earlier on the way here. I was like, Lord,
I started straight
put a
out with,
muzzle on Jonathan,
with
please.
solderizing, so there was no covering for this episode. So,
But no, I'm excited.
oh, okay, that's
All right.
That's it. Okay,
By your heads.
all right.
That's a
So
wrap.
this
All
has
right,
been your first episode of Mostly Focused. I hope you like it. I hope you listen to it. Obviously, if you
Hope
liked
you're
it,
not
you listen
offended.
to it. I don't really care about that.
Have a sense of humor, please.
Yes, please. You know,
please.
I'm going to quote, what's his name from Talladega Nights as my closing thought.
Ricky Bobby.
No, the other one.
Cal.
I like to picture my Jesus in a tuxedo up there having a good old time or party. I butchered the quote, but Jesus has a sense of humor. Okay, that's why we have them.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
anyway, no, I'm not saying my humor is Jesus' humor. I'll not put that out there.
That's prideful.
All right. We're
But
done.
anyway, so
Bye.
we will be back next. We do 2 episodes a month. So I'm not sure when we're going to release them, but you'll hear it when we talk about World at War.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.